Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video today we'll be going over the Simulations Typhoon along with startup, taxi, takeoff, flight and landing. I hope you enjoy this video. Well, the intro. Okay, so this is a very basic beginner's guide for the Simulations Eurofighter Typhoon. We'll be going over all the basic things. So first of all, we'll start with startup. Startup in the Typhoon is really easy. Go down to our left panel, open the lock switch, and open. You can close that now. Left engine fuel and right engine fuel on. Open the right cock and open that and close the cover, and battery and avionics switch on. To get rid of the pilot, all we have to do is go to the pilot and the payload and just set that to 0. Okay, so we've now provided electrical power to the aircraft. We're now going to start up our engines. So we're going to click APU start. This will only take a couple of seconds. While the APU starting, we can look at a few things. If you would like to hide the stick, you click on this button. It is not that authentic, but there's no real other way of doing it. If you want to open the canopy, you click this button, and this will open the canopy. Okay, our APU started. Let's click start 1 and start 2 at the same time. In the Typhoon there is no fuel injection, it is all done automatic. To view the engine start process, we can click on engine, and when there's a white box around both of them, that then means that they are fully started up and are ready to go. Fuel is now being injected into the engines, and we can now see that there. We can go down to here and turn gens 1 and 2 on, and we can just turn all of these switches on. One thing I forgot to do, you can take off the covers and the chocks. These are automatically taken off, but just in case. Okay. There we go. There is the white box around each one of them. So that's the startup procedure. Let's now look at the taxi. Now we've got the job of taxiing the Typhoon. Taxiing the Typhoon is very simple, and is much more simplified in Microsoft Flight Sim, as there is no nose or steering switch we have to press. Firstly, you can press your designated parking brake switch, or click on the parking brake switch over here. Just a quick note that if the parking brake is on, this yellow light will illuminate. Okay, let's start taxiing. The Typhoon does not need a lot of power, as its engines are very big and good and have a lot of power, so we'll put in a slight amount of power here, and we're already rolling. In the Typhoon, for sharp turns, you may need to put a bit of braking in, but it is not really needed as rudder has good authority at low speeds. As we go past the English Electric here at Coningsby, I will now cut to when we are on the runway. We're now lined up here and running on Coningsby's runway 25. There are 2 ways of taking off the Typhoon: conventional and quick reaction alert. In this first one, we'll just go over the conventional takeoff, and then we'll look into quick reaction alert. Firstly, we'll hold on our brakes, and we'll put power to about 75 to 80%. And then we're just going to release the brakes. The Typhoon should build up speed relatively easy, and it will let you know when it wants to take off. We go 100 knots now. You might need to apply a bit of forward pressure on the stick just to make sure it doesn't go up too early. I like taking off at about 150 to 160 knots. Rotate. And we are up. Positive rate. Gear up. And we'll just aim for about a 7 to 8 degree pitch. I'll show us climbing to about 2,000 feet and then we'll cut to quick reaction alert takeoff. Okay, so this concludes the conventional takeoff. Now let's look at quick reaction alert takeoff. Okay, we're lined up back here on runway 25 at Coningsby. So the QRA takeoff is a vertical takeoff as soon as we need to gain altitude as quickly as possible. So we're going to apply full throttle and about the same speed we're going to pitch fully up, about 80 degrees. So let's do that now. Full throttle, it might get quite loud. Release the parking brakes. As you can see, we build up speed much quicker now, and the Typhoon already wants to take off. Positive rate, gear up. We're now going to pitch up to around 80-ish degrees. We'll look outside now. I'll show us going to 10,000 feet. Right, we're going to preempt it by slowly rolling out. Right, a bit past that, so we're just going to lower our throttle down. As you can see, we gained about 2,000 extra feet, but that's fine. Next we'll go into the flight characteristics and controls. Okay, we're airborne in the Typhoon. Now the Typhoon is very sensitive. It is designed to be able to hold 9 Gs for about 30 seconds and more. So if you move your controls very slightly, the Typhoon will move quite a bit, as you can see in here. The Typhoon is also very capable in the climb, with its engines being able to produce a lot of thrust, making it very easy to vertical climb. Now let's look at some of the cool features about the Typhoon that CJ Simulations have put in. So firstly, if you go down to here, and we click FLIR on, and we go into our top panel and click the FLIR button on, there'll be 2 yellow lines and it'll be illuminated, and then we click on elevation. We can then see a black and white image of technically the FLIR, which is a T-pod. As soon as we don't have T-pod controls, it is basically locked to the bore sight of the plane. Another cool thing is the heads-up display HEMX. If we rotate this DEP switch, we can get this. This will work with head tracking, I'm just not using it right now. And it is accurate as the HUD, just so pilots can move their head about. Turn this off now. Another thing we can do is enter in our waypoints through the onboard system, not using the mission planner. I currently do not know how to do this, but I do know how we can use the autopilot. So, I'm going to click on this button. So you can click on heading, and then you can select our heading. So currently we're on heading of 262. I want to turn right, let's say to a heading of 281. Autopilot on. Autopilot on. You can now set our altitude. So let's say I want to go to 8,000 feet. I can select that, and the plane will start climbing for me. It's a very nice way to be able to fly hands off with your buddies flying in close formation. What we'll now do is we'll come in for a landing. Landing the Typhoon is very easy. We're in a pattern here for runway 25. We've done our mid-brake and we're now on the downwind leg, ready to land. Landing the Typhoon is very easy, as it is basically a flying computer. You can slam it into the ground, but that's not really recommended. We want to try and land as smooth as possible. So, I'm going to put my gear down by pressing the G button. I'm just going to get rid of the pilot here quickly because he's getting in my way. So, press the gear down, G, or assign command, or you can just press that button there. And the Typhoon, being a delta wing plane, does not have flaps, so we cannot manipulate those. It does have a very smart system to be able to help us. So, landing, I like to land at around 160 to 180 knots, so we're just going to turn in now. So we're approaching our final. If you have been enjoying this video, a like and subscribe would be very well appreciated, as I do work hard for these videos to try and make them the best for you guys. Okay, I'm a little bit quick here and a little bit too high. I'm just going to go down a bit. We're going to be at around 1,000 to 500 feet on our final approach. I also must say I'm not a real Typhoon pilot, and this video should not be used for real life training. Now, the Typhoon can become a little bit sluggish around the slower speeds because of its delta wing design, but we just will have to overcome that by very small control movements, and I'm talking millimeters. Once we land, these canards will extend, as I will show you now. Okay, alright, throttle's idle. Till touchdown, we bounced a bit there. Okay, I'm going to start braking now, and you can see these canards might come out. There you go, canards are out. They're just going to try and help us slow down. There we go, we're safely back at base. Let's try taxiing now, back to the ramp. Taxiing back to the ramp is as simple as taxiing it from. We're just going to use our map here. Zoom in so I can see where the taxiway is. So I'm just going to go down the runway and into parking. We'll also show the shutdown procedure. I also have to say that I'm not sponsored by CJ Simulations, so this is an unbiased review. Well, it's not really a review, but I'm just not super sponsored by them. I do think that the CJ Simulations Typhoon is a very good plane for its price if you're into military planes. The features it has for a 20-ish pound plane are very good, and I'll leave links in the description below to the website. Getting a bit confused there, so I'll put this to nose wheel steering. It'll just give me a little bit more gain on it. Okay, we'll park in the first hangar here and we'll shut the plane down. I'm doing a bad job of taxiing by taxiing well over 20-ish knots. Until we are back at base. I'm going to go into outside view here, cheat mode to see where to park. It's a little bit too far, but we can set the parking brakes to on, and we can simply just turn off the gens and shut the fuel cocks. Shut the fuel cocks and left and right engine fuel off. There we go. We can take all these switches off now. We can turn the battery and the avionics off. and we can open the canopy. Okay guys, that concludes the CJ Simulations basic Eurofighter Typhoon basic tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. Again, if you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. It means a lot, and I do put a lot of effort into these videos. Thanks, and see you again soon. Bye bye.